Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of Super Rugby Pacific. It is the opening contest for the Reds in their season, and they are going head-to-head up against Moana Pasifika, a side that scored 44 points last week, but did not win. They were narrowly defeated by the Western Force, but Paul Williams, I should say, is going to be the referee in charge of this one. A quick look through at the Reds lineup. Be sure to keep an eye out for Tim Ryan, of course, an outstanding season that he had last year. Josh Canham coming over from the Rebels. He is in 4, alongside Ryan Smith at 5, and then Filippo Dangunu out on the other wing. But for Moana Pasifika, as this game does kick off, but we will continue to look through the lineups as we go. A late change for the Moana Pasifika side brings Adi Savia into 7, rather than slotting in at number 8. But this back line, going to be a handy one. Alain Marlowe out on one wing, William Havili at the back, and then Toma Filau out on the other wing. It's going to be kicked in a touch. Reds should win, says Anoi. And also, I think the Reds will upset Moana Pasifika tonight. Yeah, let's wait and see what happens. Although, to be fair, the Reds come in as 6-1 favourites, I believe, or Moana Pasifika big underdogs heading into this contest, and the Reds are at home, so they should be able to get the job done, but whether they do or not could be a whole different story. They're trying to maul at the moment here. The benefit that Moana Pasifika have is they played last week, whereas the Reds did not. Just saw the final score for Chiefs versus Crusaders. Well, what happened there? A lot of points in the second half, that is for sure. But now offloading across into the hands of, it would have been Richie Asiata, now Josh Canham. Now, he was one of the guys for the Rebels that actually did extremely well last year, so it is great to see him signing with a different Australian side. Asiata with the inside ball. Doesn't work out as it is dropped by Fraser McWright, and now there is a chance for 3 early on here for the Reds. And Chiefs were just too good, says Not Mum, and also we've got their Reds should win, says Anoi. And I hope not, bro. I would like to see Moana Pasifika beat them and not get thrashed like the Crusaders did, says Matthew. And also we've got there if it is, says Bill. And Canham's good. Could be eventually a 6. Yeah, maybe. He's got the size about him, and he seems to be elusive enough when he's got ball in hand that maybe blocking Oren. In fact, did the Rebels try him at 6? A little bit, Hanoi. You're going to have to remind me, although I think by you saying he could be a 6, maybe you're not sure either, but something tells me he did get a little bit of a chance in that 6 jersey. Now a nice sniping run from McDermott, only a couple metres out from the line. I think it's Adi Savia trying to get that turnover, wasn't able to do so, and the Reds score first in this match. Only 3 minutes or less into this contest, in fact, and they are already striking, and it's the big man Suru Uru with the leg strength. Dream start. Going to go on much better for the Reds. Hi, do you know where I can watch the game? Whereabouts in the world are you, Lukes? Do let me know, and I'll try my best to help you out. But on the Super Rugby website, we will go there just while we've got a chance. They do have a list of where to watch. So yeah, if you let me know what country you're in, I'll try my best to let you know where you can watch these games. Yeah, just managing to use just the stock standard rolling maul, pick and go around the side from McDermott, who did look relatively close to scoring it himself. Now a chance for 2, I should say. And Liner makes it look easy. That will make the score 7-0 for the Reds after 3.5 minutes now. Suru, he has got 6 tries throughout his career. I'm sure that number will increase to double digits. I would like to think before the end of the season. He's got a huge amount of power, versatility about him. Can also play in the locking joy. Worst comes to worst, knock on. And an early mistake coming was the pressure from Lalomilo that managed to bump the ball out of the hands of Hunter Paisami. Jonathan Tamatine goes across to William Havili, now Lalomilo. And that is not me glitching, that is the full name. Going off to Sanarevi. Maybe a slightly in through the side clean out from Slade. Paeloa hitting it up now, and behind. Little grubber attempted and just can't quite get to the ball there. Alai Malo, he had to kind of go around the defence to be able to get a crack at that ball, but it will now be a goal line dropout. And Filippo Daungunu going to show off his NFL quarterback-like pass. Fire it across field. But that was all down to a little bit of extra pressure when it came to that initial kickoff. Right, low and hard by the looks of it for the kickoff from the goal line. Now running it for the big man. Goes 8 on 8. Now, Tamatene with the inside ball from Sanarevi. And the only teams this week that can go above Chiefs are the Brumbies and the Force, but requires them to get a bonus point win and get points differential of 37 or more. Okay, so they're actually, funny enough, the other two sides playing each other, isn't it? So it's either going to be very close, in which case Chiefs will stay top, or we'll end up seeing... Now, I feel like if either of those sides were to win by that margin, it would be more likely the Brumbies, seeing as they are going to be at home. Now, Sanerevi sitting down Richie Azata and onto the ball. McWright gets the clean steal. McDermott back to Liner, who was in the pocket. It looks like they're actually going to run this out. No, instead Hunter Paisami is going to boot it out, and this is a very strong kick from the inside centre. What team has the worst record in the comp? Says Katzenel. Are you talking all time or are you talking just this season? Like, because just this season at the moment, it's the Blues, but like it's not. Like, if you're talking about since Moana Pasifika Fiji and Druid joined or all time, there's a lot of different categories. Now Tamatine going across to Alai Malo last season. So in terms of last season's standings, I think Moana Pasifika were bottom. Crusaders weren't a mile off, though, in terms of those overall standings. Now that ball's going to be available. No. Fraser McWright gets over the ball again and manages another turnover in his team's favour. Just talking about that number that he was able to get last year in terms of Super Rugby Pacific steals. Already got 2 throughout this game, one of which led to the penalty. The other was just, oh, that's poor. Out wide from Tomafalau. Ball actually bounced in the field of play and then went out. Wait, if it bounced in the field of play, then surely that's Moana Pasifika's line out, right? Is that correct? It's going to be a Reds line out. Did that ball bounce in the field of play? Because if it did, then surely that's just a normal kick, isn't it? Kick that didn't find touch. Maybe Tamafalau made it look like it wasn't out. Or maybe he got a hand to it, possibly, and pushed it out. That could be it instead. Beautiful offloading there from the Reds. Couple flat ones to check, but it could be the try for Filippo Daungunu. I think it might stand this one. Filippo Daungunu, some quick hands on the left-hand side of the field. Moana Pasifika already scrambling, but it was Suru Uru. Got it away to, I think Asiata went straight through. And then from there, the pass off to Daungunu. That one was flat. But I don't think we're going to see it from the side on again. Means that the try will stand, and Daungunu does get himself his first of the season. First of many as well, I would say. Kick to touch from penalty, doesn't have to go out in the full. Maybe I wasn't paying attention, said Studs Race. So it doesn't have to go out on the full, it's just got to go out. Is that the case? It could be. I honestly, I'm not sure whereabouts that ball bounced, but I always thought that if it was in the field of play and then rolls out, unless it's a 50-22, of course, because that's why we sometimes see sides taking those kicks quickly to try and get that quick 50-22. Who do you think will win this match, says Big Roll Bros? Well, at the moment, there seems like a safe bet and a risky one. Match is already decided, says Arsene. And we have there, hi, says Ioane. Welcome in. Hope you are doing well. A little bit of rain falling at Suncorp Stadium at the moment. Now, nice take from Hunter Paisami. Gets back up to his feet to go again. Savia trying to hold him up. Paisami manages to flick the ball through to Tate McDermott on the halfway line. Nicely taken by William Havili. Shut down by McDermott again, who's had a pretty busy start throughout this contest. Already 10 minutes in and 14-0 in favour of this red side. Tamatine with the pop pass up to Alai Malo. A very, very good 1 pound fish, says Big Roll Bros. I saw that meme the other day, or that video. Bit of an oldie buddy goodie. Moana Pasifika is a second half team. Just need to stay in touch. Says Thuds, and that ball has gone out. And it's going to be a Queensland line out now. I think even Aizata was a little bit surprised by that one. And Tamatino does the little... Right, we're going to see it now. Did this ball go out, or was it just that there were a few men who were close to the touchline? So Savia had it. And then from there... Yeah, I don't know where that... That didn't look like that actually went out. I think it was cleanly stripped before Savia got to touch. But the ref's flag was up, so it is play on. McDermott taken back, so they do have to avoid the touchline. Now Garden Bishop kicks it high. William Havili chasing after this one. Times it well and gets straight on to McDermott. Doesn't get the turnover. You know, is crazy. Have you heard of Skibbity Toy? I've heard of it, but I have no idea what the reason behind it, or the way that it's used. I have no idea. 14-0 after 10 minutes, not looking good, says Arsene. Yeah, Moana Pasifika definitely need to be the next side to score. Definitely with the rain that is now falling. Garden Bishop kicks it high again. Alai Marlow misses the tackle on McDermott, who flicks it out the back door. Close to the touchline, McWright gets the offload. It's a 3-on-1. They have to score it, and Tim Ryan is the man who gets it. And try, says James Speed, and already a bonus point on the cards for the Reds. This is not a start to the match that Moana Pasifika would have been after. Who was the captain for Moana Pasifika? It is Artie Savia, who is in charge of this side, and he will have to really try and G his side up. I might not have been in touch, or might not be in touch at half time. Just charging for Jock Campbell. As much as he wanted to go himself, he did decide to give it off to Tim Ryan. Probably could have scored it himself anyway, but had to be strategic with it. But already 19-0. Now, I could be wrong, but I believe this is the best start to a Super Rugby Pacific 2025 side for any, or 25 game for any side. I'm trying to think. That Moana Pasifika Western Force game had quite a few early points, but none to the extent of 3 tries in 12 minutes. A nice easy kick out in front of the post. We've got to remember, the Reds, they didn't play last week. At least in Super Rugby. They are the side that had the bye. Yet they've come out firing more than I think most people did expect them to. Good old Artie as your captain in the ABs. It was good to see the Crusaders get thumped because they will learn from that thrashing. Would you agree, Hamish, says James Speed? I mean, normally sides do learn from the big losses. Normally, close game, there's disappointment. But when you're beaten quite comfortably, that's normally when the wake-up call is, or something happens that really switches a side on. Australia will have a good team this year. Watch out, Springboks and Springboks, says Johannes. Springboks and All Blacks, or Pumas maybe, as that other one. Now going to be kicked high from William Havili. And the mark called side of the 22 by Tom Liner. It is bucketing down now in Brisbane. Not quite the weather that they would have been after for their first home game of the season. And the All Blacks, says Johannes. Kick downfield and does get it into touch for Liner. And it is going to be Moana Pasifika's line out just inside of their own territory. Just talking about Tom Liner and some of the big hits that he had last year. And evenings there, Mr. Hamish. Says JD, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well. McWright does look like he's recovered from the little injury that he had on the sideline before. Or on the side of the pitch anyway. He was still on the field. Moana Pasifika going to get this rolling maul going. Ground is wet underfoot, which means the ball will be slippery too. Still rolling. I think it's gone into the hands of Sanarevi. It is dragged down. Tamatine goes across to Lalomilo. Lalomilo now Garden Bishop with the offload up to Alai Marlow. Goes through 2 tackles. Garden Bishops drop the ball. Referee says play on. I think they've actually said that that was a strip. Oh, ball's been dropped at the back. And still, Moana Pasifika's possession. Lalomilo protects. Now off to the right-hand side. This is the best phase play, although that's close to a Reds turnover. No, ball's still there for Tamatine. Doing well, Amish, thank you. When your mate going to come back on camera? That depends what mate we're talking. Is it George from the Rugby 22 videos, or is it like the live stream wise, or which mate we talking? Oh, that looked like an awkward fall for Tamatine, but luckily springs back up, as halfbacks often do. Garden Bishop with the skip pass out wider. And Miracle Whailangi with the possession, Sanarevi. Now infield, good defence from the Reds. Now every team wants to score tries. Now, like what the hell says Islanders and Australia will have a good team this year. Watch out, Springboks and All Blacks. And I had that logic where Reds did not play and Moana should be better after last week's performance, says Eliseo. 15 metres out, Moana Pasifika up to 8 phases. Samuel Slade, William Havili up to Sanarevi. And now a pick and go. That was huge contact by Fargasi. Sanarevi plays half guard and Bishop goes on the outside. Pumping the legs. Miracle Whailangi. 10 phases now. This is good. This is exactly what Moana Pasifika needed. Although McWright now gives away the penalty. Tried to get the jackal, but his teammate was still in the breakdown. Which now means that Moana Pasifika can just throw everything into it. Reds big score, says Vernon. Yeah, they were already sitting with that bonus point if the score was what it ends up at full time. Another offside advantage. Jonathan Tamatine goes off to Pepisana Batafilo. They have a bit of time at the Hurricanes. And then also playing for, I believe, the Wellington Lions in the Bunnings NBC, but they will go back for the original penalty. If you're Moana Pasifika here, do you go for the 3 just to break up the rhythm, or do you go, you got to go 7, don't you? Yes, it would be nice to have some sort of points, but you're down by 21. And it looks like they are going to take the one closer to the touchline, so that shows the intent that they are going to have here. And a bye for the Reds in round 1, fresh and ready to go. Home games will start for their season, says JD. Away, kick that 4, weird, says Studs Ray. But they are just showing there it was, I believe, Delutus. Didn't get out there, go with the 7 points. Yeah, I think it's the right decision. Even though there has been extensive pressure coming from this Red side. Still got to take the risk. Nicely taken by Samuel Slade. The first rolling maul from Moana Pasifika was well defended by the Reds. ABs versus Wallabies this year will be interesting to see, but the ABs won't lose the Bledisloe this year. So here's Matthew. Now Tamatine goes across to Lalomilo. McWright again trying to get that sneaky steal in the breakdown. I think Tamatine might have almost got his mouth caved in. And over the ball, no advantage. Siru rips it away. This has to almost be a warning for the Reds. This is about 3 times now down this end. And yep, the referee is going to have a bit of a chat. 3 quick penalties in succession. Okay, that's the warning now. I wonder if they will check that one from the hit on Jonathan Tamatine. I wouldn't guarantee it, though. I'm going to see the replay now. Where is it? No, it's not that one. They're just showing there. Yeah, one hand down, then the other. Grips on to the ball. A yellow card for the Reds. Next penalty, says Matthew. Oh, and they are going upstairs to have a look at this one. By 12 red, so that is Hunter Paisami, who might be in a bit of trouble. And that got a hurt for the mouth caved in. All right, Richard Kelly, the TMO. Sounds like it is just taking a little bit longer to find the footage. But here we go. Right. Okay. So Tamatine made the tackle, or sorry, made the pass. Then Paisami came through and did hit him late. Oh, yeah, no, he's a bit upright though. So he did get a bit of a strike on him. And it's going to be a yellow card, an on-field report. So Paisami will be going to the bin. We mentioned about how if repeated penalties were going to happen, they would have a yellow, but we didn't expect one for foul play. Oh, we will go like this, and we will go like that. There we go. But yeah, I don't see it as a red. Like, if anything, like, it's probably a yellow. Someone's just thrown something off. Is that a drink bottle? Yes, it is. That drink bottle's gone a mile. Now quick to take this tap, only a couple meters out. Savia offloads it now to his big number 8. Is he over? He's sideways. Savia. Is he going to go at the line? He doesn't. He gets over Artie Savia, scoring it for Moana Pasifika. So they have made the most of the man advantage. All but scoring already was his teammate, but he finishes the job. And go Artie, says Matthew, and here we go. Come on, Moana Pasifika, says Studs Ray. And yes, my fantasy captain. Tell you what, it's a brave pick, but it might end up paying off. If he can score himself another try somewhere along the line, get a couple, I don't know, do turnovers count in fantasy? Like winning penalties for your side? Got Artie in my fantasy team, says Nov Mum. And Big Artie says Glenn Woods. Now, lining up this kick, it is William Havili. Is not struck at the cleanest, but it wasn't in the end a mile off. Do you think Moana Pasifika will finally make the playoffs this year? If I'm honest, like, this is going to sound harsh, right? But I do think, like, if they did, I would be surprised. But I'm happy to be surprised. Hi, Amish, will you be watching the Six Nations games tomorrow? We certainly are. We're covering them all on the channel, as well as the URC, the Vancouver Sevens, and also a couple Super Rugby matches tomorrow as well. I did a little bit of a calculation earlier on, and over the next 3 or so days, we're doing over 24 hours of live commentary on the channel. So I'm not sure how much of a voice I'll have by the end of it. I don't think I'll get pretty much any sleep across the next 3 nights once I wake up, but it is what it is. I know they won't make a couple of years' time, says Matthew. Now I'll take McDermott going off to the right-hand side. Harry Wilson tries to step. Now again, short side, running out of space. Lalo Milo drives Dangunu into touch, who gives a little bit of a side-eye to take McDermott as if to say, well, that was a setup. Just got here, Sheesh, Reds killing it, says other side of the fence. You're having 3 tries in 12 minutes. Which was extremely impressive. Are you doing Highlanders versus Blues tomorrow night? We certainly are. So yeah, if you guys are new, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Now, ball just near the sideline. Tim Ryan manages to somehow keep it in. And now Jock Campbell trying to run through James Lay. Gets the hit on him. Now Tom Liner steps around Tamatine, gets the offload to Fraser McWright, who's met by Artie Savia. I don't think there was a clear release, no. Referee tells him to get out of it. Tom Liner, inside ball to Harry Wilson. Big news this week for Australian rugby as that man has extended his contract till, I believe, 2029. There's plenty more rugby to be played by the big number 8. 22 minutes gone. McDermott on off to the right-hand side yet again. to Delitus. Off to the left. Running through. Oh no, Jock Campbell wanted the offload, but he finds Pepisana Patafilo, who is not on his team, but they have called it as a knock-on. So it will now be the scrum feed for the Reds. What do you think the Highlanders will do? A pre-match haka again? Or when do you think they will? I honestly don't know. Like, it could be this year, it could be next year, it could just be, like, maybe Crusaders Highlanders? Maybe, but very hard to say. No, South African's amazing. Sears other side of the fence. Just shown 34 tries scored at home in 2024, ranked 5th in the competition for the Reds. They're just showing the next game will be up against the Western Force, then the Crusaders, then the Waratahs for this Reds team. Now, it's going to be another scrum. McDermott goes off to the right. Filippo Dangunu picked up and almost dropped by Tamatina, who puts him down nicely, to be fair. Almost had him in a cross body. Just slowly lowered him like he was putting him to bed. Now, Smith. They're 30 metres out here, the Reds. McDermott goes back to Wilson with the inside ball to Asiata. Rebels, or sorry, not the Rebels. I should say Josh Canham. Now, McDermott, that was forward, right in front of the ref. Not by a mile, though, so I guess a bit of leniency there. Dalngunu. Tackled by Kieran Tumafalau. And morning, evening, mate, says Fletcher. Welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing extremely well. Oh, that's going to be a steal for Moana Pasifika. And the man who pops up is Miracle Whaialangi. Manages to get the steal. The ball carrier hanging on. And I'm on those Chiefs. Put in a massive game earlier. Did the Chiefs do a haka tonight, or was it just a video of them doing the haka? They did do one, I believe, before the match. We have got the I need your sleep image. Rugby always here, matey. Says JD. Yeah, I've already slightly prepared in terms of knowing it's going to be a short sleep whenever we get one. Like tonight, I'll probably get like 6-7 hours, just because after this live stream, we've got a few more bits and bobs to do before getting up for the 7s at around 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. But it'll be all right. I'll sneak naps and that will be the key. And drink plenty of water too, because or else I'll have no voice by the end of the weekend. Now claimed by Moana Pasifika. What makes you say that? As in, like, what makes me say that they might have done a haka? I thought I heard one. Like, because I didn't have the screen open on the game, but I could hear someone doing some sort of pre-match stuff. Now, big sell at a dummy from Sana Revi. It was a good game for sure. Glad I went. Yeah, you'll be glad that the weather wasn't like what it is here at Suncorp. Absolutely pouring at the moment. Now Lalo Milo steps round Harry Wilson. Offload on the inside. Garden Bishop can't quite claim it. Looping around. Still can't get the ball. Tries again and makes the big hit on Fraser McWright. Now in the pocket, Josh Fluke. South Africans must be watching the Champions Trophy cricket. It's on South Africa versus Afghanistan. Yeah, big win for New Zealand in the opening round. There's going to be some great games taking place throughout that competition. Tomatine goes off to Garden Bishop, looking for the chip in behind, playing territory. Not looking for the 50-22, and that is a great kick from Garden Bishop, finishing up maybe only 2 or 3 metres out from the try line. The Chiefs didn't do a haka, but a Maori group did a welcome. They do it every Chiefs game? Oh, okay. So that'll be what I heard in the background then. But yeah, very nice kick. Now they can try and put pressure on at the line out. See if they can sneak a steal. And it's not straight from the Reds. Free kick goes the way of Moana Pasifika. Moana disrupting their gameplay. Good work, boys, says JD. Yeah, that is not straight. So the rule is if the opposition doesn't contest, you can get away with a not straight throw. But if you go to the back, it still has to be straight. So that's pretty much the gist of it. Now chance for Sanarevi. And run at Pacifica, it looks like that is exactly what they're going to do. James Layor can't reach out. They've got about 3 men on this near side of the field. Do they want to use it? That looked like it could have been a knock-on. Or at least something that was very close to it. Round the side of the breakdown again with a pick and go. 2 meters out. I see Artie Savia. He is lurking for it. He knows how to finish them from this close. And he passes it off straight into the hands of the Reds player who has now knocked it on 5 meters out from the line. Possession is there for Moana Pasifika. Going to use this one out wide. Pipisana Patafilo with a great step. Gets round 2. Runs into liner. Bit of a hit from Dungunu. Not a lot of arms being wrapped in that case. And now Savia close to the line. And it's going to be held up. Oh. We got something now from the TMO by the sounds of it. It's going to be a yellow card. If he's reached across and he's offside, it's going to be the yellow, I believe, against the Reds again. Right, offside, reaching over. Reds lot of D in the rain. It's going to be another yellow card. What's going on with Hunter? Is he red carded? He is not. He's just about to make his way back out onto the field. Reaches over, plays the 9. We are just awaiting confirmation. Right, still waiting a number. We're going to know it soon. And he must have been offside by the sounds of it, says Glenn Woods. Yeah, so offside at the breakdown and then reached over the front and kind of slapped it away, I believe. Who is it that we're looking for here? Was it in the breakdown? I think there might have been a sneaky hand that came through. Maybe 3? The Ludus might have been the guy, was it? Or was it that? Because if it was that one, it's Fraser McWright who rushed up too quickly to get the steal. Oh no, Ryan Smith. They found the angle. Reached out, played the hand. So Ryan Smith is going to go from the field for 10 minutes. At the moment, it's an interchange taking place for the Reds of who gets to sit in the yellow card bin. It's going to be another scrum. This time in favour of Moana Pasifika. Like they'll see, Paisami's just come back. And now they're back down to 14 again, except this time they are missing one of their locks, which will affect their set piece. And looking forward to tomorrow's game. Here's Fleshin. There's going to be some great matches tomorrow. The URC, Super Rugby, the Six Nations, all taking place. And then the Sevens as well, just to add a little bit more talking into the mix. I'm not hopeful to have a voice by the end of that one. Now, 5 metres out from the line, yellow. That's the sort of sneaky rugby that made champion, says Thuds Rays. Well, unfortunately, there's too many cameras nowadays that you can't get away with anything in those breakdowns. Or at least you shouldn't be able to, but every once in a while, one sneaks through. Nice tackle made by Hunter, by Sami Lalomilo. Trying to get that steal was Fraser McWright. And it doesn't work out. Another advantage going against them. This might be another yellow card. I had heaps of turns in the naughty chair when I played rugby, especially when my dad was the ref. Says Matthew White, cut out pass. Going to Alaimalo. Oh, Lalomilo's knocked out. That looked high from Hunter Paisami. There was no arm wrap there, I don't think. This is probably going to be a red card for Paisami here. This looked really bad. Lalomilo, he doesn't look like he knows where he is. They're going to have to check this one. This was Paisami too. Talk about living dangerously. We're going to see it now. Just stays in the field of play. Oh, okay. So Paisami did try and wrap there, to his credit, but the player as well was dipping his head to dive and boom, headbutt. and knocks Lalomilo flat out. Knocked out, you say, says Glenn. Yeah, didn't look too good. He's got a cut on the forehead for Lalomilo. Right. They've said it's going to be play on. And that is because of the dipping in the head of Lalomilo. So it's probably quite lucky, I want to say, for Paisami, just because, you've already had a card, but then you have to make that tackle. If he didn't, it was going to be a try. The Reds have horrible discipline. It looks that way. They just haven't been able to stop giving away penalties in the last little while. But Lalomilo is now off the field. I believe Noria Fomai has made his way on. And meanwhile, the Reds are still playing with 14 as it currently sits. Sounds like Fomai will just take over from where Lalomilo was. But I'd be very surprised if he returns. And to be honest, he was having a great start to this contest, Lalomilo. Now Garden Bishop goes across to Alai Malo. Tackle. And McWright has to release. Tamatene. I'm back across. Big shot coming in again from this Reds defence. Any more offsides and they might find a card in their a card in their future. And my brother and my sister-in-law and my niece and nephew were at the game. They were sitting one row behind to my right. Rugby officiating is a lottery. Red and penalty try next week. Says studs and shoulder to the forehead is not a penalty. It was actually head-to-head, in fact. So some would regard that as even worse than a shoulder. But, yeah, they've said that because Lalomilo was dipping down and so was Paisami, that it's nothing more than a penalty. I wonder if Paisami didn't already have a yellow, though, whether that would have been a yellow in a different situation. Now getting closer to the line. Passing short side. William Arvilli was lying on the floor there. And Garden Bishop ripped out. He's saying he was already tackled and grounded at the time. The Reds still pushed him over. And he did, yeah, pretty much Paisami's crown to Lalomilo's forehead. Yeah, some rough passing from Moana Pasifika, but almost led to the chance. Garden Bishop's trying to say he was already grounded at that time. Reds have already made 78 tackles. Go the Reds, says NZ guy. Now line out throw for Richie Asiata. And not claimed cleanly by the Reds. Knock on 5 metres out from their line. And Moana Pasifika again will have themselves another scrum feed. This is living dangerously for the Reds at the moment. I've already seen 3 handling errors. I do think it's a little bit higher than that number does insinuate as well. Go the Reds. Says NZ guy. Just see it there. Yeah, slipping through the hands. I'm not actually too sure. That might have been Josh Cannon, but I don't think he had the headgear on. But Ryan Smith's off because of the yellow card, so maybe it was Cannon. It's like a few players warming up in the background as well. Moana Pasifika, this is their chance. 5 metres out, they need to score before half-time. An advantage would be massive for them, but both scrums holding extremely strong. Tamatine now goes off to Naria Famai. In fact, this time it's Danny Tawala, my apologies. I've been calling him Naria Famai the whole time, but Danny Tawala, I should say, is actually the man that made his way on. Moana Pasifika, they've lost that one. Josh Canham. Yeah, he just hasn't got the headgear on at the moment. That's why we didn't recognise him. Now back into the pocket. McDermott goes to Liner. Has plenty of time. Get this one down towards touch. Garden Bishop takes it and goes quickly. Off to William Harvilli now with the step. Offloads to Garden Bishop. Another flick pass up to Harvilli, who's now dropped the ball. It was a good bit of interchange there between Moana Pasifika players, but Eventually losing it now. Tom Liner sees the gap in behind, looking for the 50-22. But back there to cover is the youngster, Kieran Timafalau. Goes high with it again. And, beautiful take from the young Tongan. And now Pipisana Patafilo spins out of one, offloads it up. Kieran Timafalau has knocked it on. Or no. They've said the Reds are the team that have got the knock on there. Now back across to the left-hand side. Neni Tawala through the hands of Garden Bishop. They've lost quite a few metres. Tries the cross kick. Goes straight into the hands of Ali Marlo. Isn't held, so able to get up again. And Tim Ryan tries to push him towards the sideline. Come on, Moana Pasifika, respect the ball, lol, says JD. There's been a lot of drops throughout this game, which is, to a certain extent, understandable. At the end of the day, they are playing in extremely wet conditions. But now Sama Malolo, who normally would be there, but instead it is Sana Revi for this one. Now, everything has gone backwards, says Paul Williams, Miracle Whailangi. Now, Adi Savia. They are still down by 2 converted tries and some. Danny Tuala, good low strike on him by Tom Liner. And to Lofalava, everyone. Soifua, says Jones, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well. My favourite Chiefs player for me has to be Croods. Had me thinking when asked during last game, beautiful ball to Tamatino or from him, but Tuala has dropped it. Clean out there from Asiata. Knock on from the Reds now, and it becomes a penalty. Under 64.5 locked in for total points, says Martin. Okay, bit of a risky one, just because I think in the second half we are going to see these two sides elevate even more. Just seeing that kick from Kieran Timafalau on the replay again. Chased it hard, got the jump right. I should have had 4 yellows by now, says Arsena. What a ball, says NZ guy. At least we can have a proper fly half. Or we have a proper fly half for this one. Not sure how we go. But it can't be that much worse. True. It would be typical, wouldn't it, though, that the first game that Gatlin's out, it's going to be, somehow Wales pull off a miracle, beat the Irish, then everyone will go, so it was all Gatlin's fault. We have got there. Hunter Paisami was supposed to be carded. Clear head contact in that tackle on the line. Penalty try for Moana. Refereeing is a joke. Can't even pull up the correct ruck. Says it is what it is. Yeah, there's been some interesting calls throughout this one so far. 2 yellow cards for the Reds, one of which was Hunter Paisami. I mentioned about it earlier on that, it seemed like maybe if he wasn't already yellow carded, it could have gone a different way for him. Now McDermott gets it downfield. How's it going and where's this game at? This game being played at Suncorp Stadium, doing very well. Excited for more of this contest. Kicked into touch. Moana Pasifika concede the line out. What makes you think it will go over 64 points? I think when these two sides start to get tired, it will be a little bit similar to what happened between Moana Pasifika and Western Force, in which we saw about 48 points or something throughout that second 40. So, there is a chance that if Moana Pasifika do get tired, that the Reds could score 3 quick fire tries. Moana Pasifika, the amount of possession and territory that they've had at the moment, they could score a couple, including maybe one before half-time if they can get a big turnover here. Now Uru. On back across that's a drop ball from Harry Wilson, but it did go dropping straight into the hands of Hunter Paisami. McDermott, he's been told to use it. Take him back. Liner drops the ball. Has to scamper. Passes it across to Dungunu, who will go with the left boot. This was taken back, though. So they have to go back to where it was kicked. Yes, it was. Carried back initially for Liner. Dungunu did not realise it. Big mistake made by the Reds here. It's by no means all his fault, but he has started to make a few odd calls, and his game plans become even odder. And Moana has wasted all that money, says Reflecting Trees. They're not out of this game yet. Yes, the Reds scored 3 very quick fire tries. Now, nicely thrown in. Samuel Slade takes it well. Kieran Timafalau goes to Savia, the lone try scorer. That's illegal. And the breakdown from McWright. There has to be a yellow. It's about his second or third time doing it. And referee sends him to the bin. Crowd are not happy about it, but that was a cynical infringement from Fraser McWright. He got penalised for it earlier on in the half. tried it again. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, but now the Reds are down to 13 for the next little while. Almost out on the full Garden Bishop. And even Artie can't make Moana win against the Reds. I feel like they need to go for this. That's a shocker. What's the penalty and tackle count? Yeah, he's just trying to grab the ball. He missed it initially and then slapped it back onto his side. So yeah, hands it down there. Then he flicks it, which you are, of course, not allowed to do. They're going to take 3 Moana here. Interesting choice, but I guess it gets them within 2 converted tries. They're just in such a good position on the field, though, that up against 13, I would have thought it would be worth a crack. You know, you have 2 or 3 minutes at them for a while. I feel he does get it over, though, and that will make it half-time now. 21 points to 8. Will Moana Pasifika come to regret that decision? 21 points to 8. Ryan Smith just having a bit of a chat to the referee, of course, just making his way back out onto the field. So actually 14 now for the Reds. But yeah, first half, entertaining enough. Reds scoring 3 tries within 12 minutes. Outside of that, no extra points for them. Moana Pasifika scoring the last 8 points. And there's still plenty of time remaining in this matchup. They have got an ad for KFC at the moment. And all the herbs and spices on an aeroplane by the looks of it. Moana looks weaker here compared to their last game last week. And expecting this Reds team to receive a red card at some point for repeated offenders. Absolutely no discipline, says it is what it is. And against 13 should have a go. And another yellow, says JD. And let's go Moana, says MT. And never surrender, says MT. In fact, what we will do is we'll get some stats for this one. Go there. And Reds 3 tries, 3 yellows. Yeah, so at the moment getting 1 yellow card per try in that first 40 minutes. We'll go here and we'll go, there we go. So possession, 63% in favour of Moana Pasifika. Oh wow, they've got like a whole thing that has all the events and whatnot won throughout the match. That is a new upgrade to the Super Rugby website that they did not have prior, but 3 tries for the Reds, 191 metres gained compared to the 282 that we saw gained by Moana Pasifika. 50 carries for the Reds, 93 for Moana Pasifika. And then the Reds actually still having the advantage in the clean breaks as well as the defenders beaten. Turnovers conceded 9 for Moana Pasifika there. And I don't think we've got defensive stats by the looks of it. In fact, there we go. Defense, tackles made, 122 with 8 missed for the Reds. So they might start to get tired. Moana Pasifika only having to make 48 throughout this game. And then also the discipline. 6 penalties conceded by the Reds, all pretty much within their own 22. 3 yellow cards. And then the 3 penalties against Moana Pasifika there too. What are your thoughts on Crusaders to win their tournament this year? They're going to have their ups and downs by the looks of it. That game up against the Chiefs, they were less than competitive at times, but I do still think they'll be back, and I think they'll be in the top 8. Who scored the first try? First try of this whole match was scored by, was it Tim Ryan, who managed the very first try? No, in fact, it might have been Sururu who did score the opening try. Yes, it was. In the 3rd minute, then Dalgunu scored in the 8th, and then Tim Ryan scored in the 12th. So all very quick. Narua played great. He certainly did. And yeah, he just looked like he slotted straight back into that starting side effectively. And ball in hand, don't win rugby no more. Moana Pasifika got to get smarter, says Studs Race. And Kia ora Hamish, says Daniel Cox. Welcome in. Moana lose every game. Does Artie still make the All Blacks? Yeah. Like, you can't really base it off results because or else then the likes of someone like an Ethan in the group would have never got to play for the All Blacks either. You know, like the Highlanders have at times over the last few years never been that strong, but someone like a de Groot has been able to step up for them. A couple of the youngsters that they've got coming up through the ranks now maybe have a chance. So, like, yes, it's important to be on a winning team, but when you stick a guy on a bad team, that's not me saying Moana Pasifika is bad, by the way, but for a perfect example, you stick some of those Blues forwards in a different side, see whether or not they have that same impact as they do in a massive fallback like the Blues. Because some players, when they go to a different side, just disappear, and they don't find that same momentum. Some people have criticised one player in particular, that being Finlay Christie, for that exact thing. They say, yes, he's strong when the Blues pack is in front of him. Stick him in front of a different one. See whether it goes the same. When do the Blues play the Highlanders? Or when do they play? Yep, tomorrow at 7:05. When that one will be taking place. Jacob could be All Blacks 10. Yeah, and he got a chance for the New Zealand XV last year. So, you know, there is a chance. Is Julian the Bus out there? He is not, no. Not playing in this contest. Julian Savia. Adi Savia is, though, managing to get the first try for Moana Pasifika. And McWright, the best 7 in the world. I don't know about the best. Like, he's an outstanding player, and he's brilliant at getting the turnovers. I think the one that lets him down is when he goes a little bit too hard, though, and I mean that almost in a good way. You know, like in this case, he's got, I think it's 2 turnovers, but he's also now off the field for 10 minutes. So then the 3 points that Moana Pasifika got are because of him. If they score again in the first 10 minutes of the second half, that goes against him for his game as well. But there's no denying how dangerous he can be in a breakdown. When he gets over it, he wins it more times than not. It just is the fact that that penalty count at the moment goes about 50-50, and sometimes they say that's worth it. You know, if you're going to have a guy who can get a turnover 50% of the time, give away a penalty the other 50%, it just depends where on the field it is that, you know, he's given it away. Yeah, already 3 yellow cards for the Reds. Hunter Paisami, Ryan Smith and Fraser McWright throughout that first 40 minutes. And there's still another 40 afterwards, which means there is a chance that we could see at least a few more coming in a row. 2 more, 5 yellow cards. What's the most yellow cards we've had in a wee while in Super Rugby? I can't think of any team that's been given more than 2 or 3. Leroy scored tonight, and in his Chiefs debut last week, the man was is unstoppable. Says Daniel, yeah, I mean, a lot of people know from that 7 side of things how dangerous Leroy Carter can be. And, I mean, he started off brilliantly on that left wing, that is for sure. Second half, on a mile off, looking through at the benches for these 2 sides, ladies and gentlemen. And Matty Faisler there at number 16, Blake and Ngor as the number 18, Blythe, Bryle, also Kalani Thomas, McLaughlin Phillips, and Lockie Anderson in the number 23 for Moana Pasifika. Sama Malolo, they have got off the bench. Tui Pilotu at 17, and Chris Apua as the 18. Tom Savage, Tupo, who was going to be actually off the bench, but he is actually starting in this game. Malani Matavao, Danny Tawala, who has already made his way on there, and then Filippo there at number 23. But now, they're just showing there France versus England. A few highlights there, of course. Going to get to see the British and Irish Lions tour coming up in the near future in Australia. A lot of people intrigued to see how they end up going. But looking at the odds there, Moana Pasifika are underdogs, as you would expect. Games was in 2013 when the Stormers versus the Rebels match saw 6 yellow cards. If you're looking for a confirmed record-breaking game, it might require digging into specific match reports. Let me know. Says Xavier Brown. So 6 yellow cards from 2013. Okay, so it's been a little odd. I'd really hope they don't get to there, but you just never know, do you? Like, the discipline, let's be honest, it's been poor in the first half. Beautiful pronunciation, bro. And also, thanks to ChatGPT, the record for the most yellow cards in a Super Rugby game is not widely documented, but rugby has seen high cards in the past. One of the most heavily carded. Okay, I get you. And I keep picking draws in the chat poll. One day I'll be right, says Pie Man. And how much is Super Rugby price tickets in New Zealand? Is it worth going? Depends on what you're in it for. Like, if you're a hard-out rugby fan, like an atmosphere going to the game, of course, can scratch that that itch, if you like. But like Super Rugby tickets wise here in New Zealand, depends on where you're going. Eden Park, I believe, is a bit more expensive. Super Rugby tickets for the Blues. Let's see what we've got for upcoming Blues versus Crusaders. That's a big one at Eden Park. That is on the 22nd of March, so about a month's time. This will give us some sort of indication of what they're charging up north. Okay, so general admission is $10 to $25. $25 for an adult and $10 for a child. That's like general. They were $20 for this game. The North Stand, you're looking at $67 maximum by the looks of it. That's actually a lot cheaper than I thought it would be, if I'm being honest. But maybe that is because they know that that's the type of game that they can get more people to. Novmum, if she's still here, I'm not sure if she is, but if she is, she just went to a Chiefs game. So do let us know, Novmum, how much that was roughly. You don't have to say the exact amount, of course, but Moana's going to win it. Now, how's the game looking? Only just tuned into the stream, been working. Moana dead and buried or game alive? Game is alive. 3 yellow cards for the Reds throughout this first half. Go Moana, make it to the quarterfinals. Says Rups. And Several Reese and Barrett. In fact, all the Crusaders, All Blacks played good too. Says Rangis. Do you think Leroy has made his mark, Hamish, to call that jersey his? I mean, he's certainly securing some sort of jersey out on the wings. 2 tries in 2 weeks is nothing to bat an eyelid about. Like, he will definitely continue getting that chance. Definitely if there are other injuries in that back line, you know, we might see someone like I don't know, we could actually see one of the other wingers go into centre or at fullback. My ticket was $35. That was the cheap seats on the sides. Says Novmum there. And that is way cheaper than going to the Warriors game. Yeah, it's actually surprising the affordability of it. I thought it was going to be a lot more. And the membership pass must be worth it, I guess. Yeah, I think memberships do quite well. Or at least they should, because it does make it a lot cheaper. It's not Super Rugby if international. It's international rugby, which is way too expensive. You're going to a Lions game, and bloody it was a lot. 4 tries in 2 weeks is solid, says Rangis. Patch and the naughty dog is watching your live stream with me now, bro. So I guess the question is, Matthew, what did the dog do? And why is it naughty? And also we've got there in the chat, $25, not bad. Leroy played good. And the Lions will win, says Matthew. Speaking of Lions, of course, the Lions versus the Bulls going to be taking place in the near future. I think that's Liam Wright that they're having a bit of a conversation with on the sideline. He was born naughty, says Matthew. Okay, so he just lived up to his reputation the whole way through for himself. It's like Tim Ryan scratching his cheek. He managed to score 1 try in that first half. Wouldn't mind getting another. I think his nickname is the Bulldog. Speaking of dogs before. And I kind of did enough. Says Rangi's Patch. Is the food price really expensive at Eden Park's Super Rugby games? I believe the price of food pretty much at any stadium is quite high. But, like, yeah, it's kind of to be expected. And that's normally, like, that's the thing. They'll make tickets slightly cheaper, but then they'll just bump that money that they would have got for your ticket into food. So that if you get absolutely anything, you're going to end up spending that money anyway. I've got there a question for everyone in the chat and Hamish. What's better, watching rugby from the side or from behind the posts? It's behind the post for me, says Xavier. You probably get a better indication of the width behind the posts. I'm really not the best one to comment on it because the last game I went to would have been a provincial game in about 2005. I think was the last time I went to an actual, like, relatively high professional level rugby game. Like, I've been to, like, lower level stuff in terms of, like, local rugby club and whatnot, but nothing as of late. It's got to be something we look at some point, I would say. Just because, you know, we are a rugby-based channel, damn 20 years. Yeah, I know. It makes me sound really old. And that game, very traumatic. Dan Carter, he kicked the ball to me at the end of the contest, like when they had about 10 balls to give away. He pointed and he kicked the ball at me and just out in front, wasn't able to grab it in, fell into the seat where I was sitting, and then some random 40-year-old bloke reached down, grabbed it, and said, "Yay, I've got Dan Carter's ball." I went, "What the f-?" Of course, I was 5, so I was like, I should have probably caught that. But yeah, that's the gist of my rugby experience. It's not the reason I haven't been back, I should say. It's not like childhood trauma or anything like that. But yeah, it was very unfortunate. Almost had a Dan Carter signed rugby ball. That would have been nice. But second half, just about here, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, I'm Matthew Dog. Oh, I'm Matthew's dog. Don't listen to Matthew. He's talking nonsense. So is Matthew actually the I don't like using the word naughty anymore. I feel like it's just been ruined, hasn't it? And halfway, 7th row back in low stands. Or if the stadium is steep up high, said Studs Race. You got to go to a game of 2 cents rugby one day. That would be probably the best idea. Him and Tony maybe go up to a game at Eden Park. I was recently up Auckland way, but that was before Super Rugby or anything. Who does that? He should have given it to you. Yeah. I still think it was 2 cents. No, it wasn't him. But, yeah, it was very unfortunate. But I'm sure he still has it somewhere, and he would have it probably, in a nice case. If I had, got it, I probably would have worn the signature off it by then by kicking it around, so it's all right. It's not blaming everything on me, otherwise I'll pee on the couch. I wasn't sure if that was Matthew or Matthew's dog who wrote that there for a second, but now, second half underway, Moana Pasifika with a man advantage and a knock-on from the Reds already. Jonathan Tamatine picks it up cleanly. And chance here, was that a deliberate knockdown? No, it wasn't. Missed the hand of Hunter Paisami, but the last thing that he can afford is to have another yellow card. Hey, he's not 62 cents, says Xavier Brown. He did have glasses, though. And honestly, 20, it could have been 2 cents' dad. Because now I think about it, the guy looked not completely like him, but it looked similar to him. Same type of look, but no, I doubt it. I will be outside if he did, and don't mean to brag, but I've got 4 tickets to the Black Ferns Ladies Rugby World Cup this summer in the UK. Nice. Should be a pretty entertaining competition. 2 senses in China 20 years ago, says Glenn. And come on, one, when Brumbies losing their match to the draw, we will need a win to be on top Australia pool, says JD. And cheeky Gazza, I guess, says Xavier Brown. I'm coming to New Zealand with a coconut tree for Nun Tree Hill. Oh, now, Tana Umanga having a bit of a chat there. Matthew and Matthew's dog is still having a bit of an argument by the looks of it. Your dog's very good at typing, though, Matthew. Nice offload from Liner. Now Jock Campbell has Filipa Dungunu with him. Gets it away and bumps off Willie Harvili. McDermott passes off to Liner. A little bit of a juggle from Ryan Smith. Are you trying to say all Aucklanders look the same? No. This game was in Christchurch, though, so I'm not sure why he would have made the trip. I think it was Otago Canterbury. So it would have been an interesting choice. McDermott goes off to Harry Wilson. Back across to the right. Was provincial rugby broadcast in 2005? I wonder if I can find that game. Now, Harry Wilson. I once made it into an AFL ad waving a chip. Fun fact. But they were more interested in the guys who were in full body paint in front of me. But I was still there waving it. Cooled down very fast. 14 blokes on, 15 blokes defending, says JD. Yes, Matthew, I'm going to go into the garden, play in the mud, and come back and make the couch dirty, full of the mud. Brutal. Now 7 metres out from the line. The Reds sound like they have all the bloody wallabies in there. Do you have that clip, says Xavier? I do not, sadly. This was back in 2000 and probably 2008. Maybe even earlier. I looked around for it, but just never really found it, unfortunately. I can't even really remember who was playing. I think it was the Brisbane Lions and maybe a blue and yellow team, possibly. The Magpies, maybe? I can't even remember. But now I'll try to roll this one. Oh, that's a massive gap. Who had that one? And Matty Fazler goes in for the first try of the second 40. That was poor defence from Moana Pasifika and Reds in top. On top, says Gabriel. And hello to all the Usos out there. 685 to the world, says James Martin. Like they've just said, they've hardly had possession, and now they go in and get themselves the first try of the half. It did not take too long at all, so they are back now with the bonus point. And really good bit of momentum going forward. Oh, we'll go like that. We will go like that. Right, that's killed the odds in terms of Moana Pasifika's chances. Dropping down even more so. And how are you, Hamish? I've got to ask, how's the building work, mate? Says James, it's going all right. It's been a little bit more quiet since Super Rugby's come back up. Just because, like we mentioned earlier on, over the next 3 or so days, we are doing over 24 hours of live commentary across, I think it's 4 different competitions. So, yeah, it's going to be a bit hectic. Another knock on from the Reds. It's just going through their hands flat out. Damn it, says JD. Oh, a little bit of skill there from Paul Williams with the ball. Canham disappointed with that one, but currently a 20-point difference between these two sides. A yellow and blue AFL team is the West Coast Eagles. So, yeah, it could have been the Eagles, maybe. I just know that these people were dressed in blue and yellow, I thought. Like full body paint. And then I just had a chip. I was happy enough being there. Bet you those chips cost a fair amount, though. They always do at sporting grounds. Right, solid scrum here. Doesn't look like it's really moving a huge amount for either of these sides. And Pipisana Patafilo by April. We'll see which teams are legit. And how can 43% of people think that Moana are going to win, says Dyke? I would say that that's based off... Oh, big mistake there from the Reds. It's taken back, and it's going to be a 5-metre scrum now. Yeah, 5-metre scrum for Moana Pasifika. But I would say it's because the Reds haven't played a game yet this season, so it's very hard to judge anything, really, for them. I played AFL when I was in Australia. Awesome game. Even though I was brought up with rugby union, says Rups. Yeah, good kick in behind, and Kieran Tumafalau was wanting it. McDermott doing well to just bring that one back. Just talking about that decision-making from Jackson Garden Bishop as well. I think they're using big words in the Aussie commentary box at this point. But now, scrum feed, all gone down. But it is available. I see I was only going by the odds. I'm still learning about Super Rugby scene. Says Tyke. And Ngunu gets the steal. No one in there for Moana Pasifika. That's a frustrating one. That's the type of one that the coaches absolutely hate. When you do all the hard work to get that ball down the field, just to then give it away. Now Tom Liner, he will be kicking this one towards the touchline. Oh, Matthew's got a mosquito too. Entire front row of Reds collapse, no advantage. Then he gives one to the Reds, says Scene. Yeah, I don't know whether or not the decision was both sides went down or something, but yeah. There was a weird angled run right into where all the defenders are, says Thursdays. Yeah, I feel like sometimes, you know, those big Pacific Island boys, they just love causing carnage. And the best way to do that is to run over 2 or 3 people. In this case, though, it didn't work. Now Wilson, 40 metres out from the line. And Tom Liner kicks it high again. This one's going to take a long time to come down. Well claimed by Solomon Alaimalo. Here across to the right-hand side now. We haven't really seen a huge amount of Artie Savi in terms of running the ball in hand. Seen him score the try, though. James Lay. Trying to get that turnover was Ryan Smith. Jackson Garden Bishop goes off to Miracle Whailangi. Tamatine again goes across Slade. Little short pop pass, doesn't work out. The Reds kick it downfield. And now Kieran Tamafalau. A lot of people swarming him. 3 Reds players to be exact. Ongunu wanted to try for that turnover, can't get it. Ollie is consistently getting me into trouble, says Matthew. Now another open space run. Danny Tawala. He's got Garden Basham with him on the inside. Nice pass out wide. Pace for days for Solomon Alai Marlow. And the Reds have conceded. They'll just check that pass, I would say. It was extremely wide from William Havili. They're saying it floated forward, but did it go backwards out of their hands? I'm worried about Savi. I feel like playing for Pacifica is going to ruin his career. Says Matthews. Yeah, really good shot on Garden Bishop initially. But Ali Marlow, he's done extremely well to just keep on running it right. We're going to have 5 looks at this one. There was a Reds one earlier on that seemed like a 4 pass. No, that's fine. I think that's all good for William Havili. The crowd are booing it, but I can tell you right now, if it was the other way around, the crowd would not be booing it. And the kick is good from William Havili. I'm saying it's backwards out of the hand, but a mile forward. Says Studs Ray, so that is now going to make the score between these two sides 28 points to 15. And good work, guys. Sure, cheap shot in there, matey. Says JD. All right, they've said backwards out of their hands, then floated forward. And the try will stand. Now, Reds are back to the 15 after quite a few penalties have gone against them. They've only given away, I believe, 6 or 7, though. And in those 6 or 7, they've managed to have 3 yellow cards. Now, Chris Apua, he has made his way onto the field. Same with Savage. That is Tom Savage. Him and Alan Craig were a great duo last year for Moana Pasifika. Are there rugby games today? Which competition you're talking? URC, there is 1. Bulls versus Lions. 6 Nations, there are 2. It's going to be Wales versus Ireland and England versus Scotland. Super Rugby tomorrow. There is Hurricanes versus Brumbies, Blues versus Highlanders, and... Wait, who do I say in that first game? I think Hurricanes Fijian draw, I should say, rather than Hurricanes Brumbies, and then Brumbies versus Western Force. And then in the 7s, it's all throughout the day, all throughout the night. The Vancouver Sevens taking place too. More like playing with his hands soaked in melted butter at half-time. Now nicely taken by Moana Pasifika. It's going to be their ball. Reds in the Rebels team is in Queensland, maybe ex-Queensland, says JD. Now has been told to use it again for Jonathan Tamatine. Now, then another knock-on. Yes, it was. We've had a lot of knock-ons, but that is the slipperiness that has been a factor. Here comes Tim Ryan. A lot of space for him trying to link up with the man on the outside, but instead looks like he might go in. No, flicks it back, and that is another knock-on. A poor pass from Ryan, slapped down by Hunter Paisami, but it does go backwards. Is South Africa playing? If you're talking about the South African sides and the Bulls and the Lions, then yes. If you're talking about South Africa in the 7s, then yes as well. They are going to be playing up against New Zealand in their opening contest. Are you covering the 7s in about around 9 hours? We are, yep. Oh, nice pass. And now Kieran Tamafalau tries to step, goes round on the outside. They might once again just check that pass that went to Tamafalau, but he has got another try for Moana Pasifika. A lot of teams this season throwing away leads. Canes versus Satyrs, Blues versus Chiefs, now Reds. Says LA 10s. Moana Pasifika, a chance to get back within 7 here. Come on, Moana Pasifika, second half team use. And what a try, says Novmum. And that is a great step around Tom Liner at the back. Hi, says Simran, welcome in. You are doing extremely well, just like Moana Pasifika are. scoring tries for fun at the moment, slowly getting back into the contest. But just jogs it in after running it around. You're looking very handsome tonight, Average, like always, hee. Says everyone, thank you very much. I did have a shave the other day because I was looking very scruffy. That kick has gone over. Good son, you beauty try. Says JD. We'll go like this. And like that as well. So now, yep, they're getting closer. In terms of those odds, Moana Pasifika, they are back within 7. No one, well, some people saw this coming because like they said, like second half, normally we see Moana Pasifika starting to fire back into a game, but this has been a very quick start. I like the clean shaven look. Says Imran, thank you very much. And now, sitting about 15 metres out, just 6 points in a row now. Or 6 points in it now, says Glenn Woods. Now Jonathan Tamatine back into the pocket. This is where we get to really see if Moana Pasifika have got it in them to win this game. Because they've got themselves back into a position to do so. The Reds are making more than enough errors to give them a chance. And Hamish, what a great game between these two sides. Yeah, it just seems to be Moana Pasifika are going to be a side that can bring close back-to-back or kind of back and forth type of games for the season, which would be great to see. They are able to do it week in, week out. Of course, every once in a while, we'd like to see them be the one who do get the win. But, I mean, last week up against the Western Force, it just kept on going. Here come the Reds, so 40 metres out from the line. Hunter Paisami. It's going to be a good tackle made. And now Fazla. Oh, another knock on by the Reds. The boys are just fumbling it far too often. One more. We'll go like that. And like this as well. Now, another chance to kick this one downfield for McDermott. And Reds errors, drop ball penalties should cost them, says Glenn. It should. But if it does or not, might be the difference. Like at the end of the day, you can't afford to do what they've done here, but sometimes you still win. You know, a side that play like this but still get a victory, it says a lot about them in terms of their character. Garner Basher putting his child rearing hips into action to break tackles, says Studs Ray. Reds doing well, 13 to 14 players for half an hour. Yeah, but like in their case, it's a lot of their own doing as well. So like maybe they could have conceded a lot more. Alo Malo off now, and that's for Filippo. That's an interesting choice. Just because of how well Alai Malo is going. There's going to be a penalty advantage going against Artie Savia here, trying to roll away. Wasn't quite able to. And now, I think if the Reds are strategic, they might actually consider the 3 here. You don't want to risk it, I don't think anyway, by... Oh! Wait. No, they're going to... Is this kicking for the corner or are they getting a tee? This looks like kicking for the corner here for the Reds. I think they're starting to realise that they either need to put the finishing blow in or Moana Pasifika are going to be able to slowly get back into this, which they have already been doing throughout the second half. Now, chance again for the Reds to be on attack. I think rolling more might be their tactic. We did see off the bench, Matty Faisler already managed to get himself 1 try since making his way on. Now McDermott. Oh, great run forward from Sururu. 3 metres out. Pick and go from Angus Blythe, and he is over. The Reds have reaped the rewards of taking the risk. Gets slapped around by his teammates there, Angus Blythe, but great finish from the big man. So when did Savia play for Moana? They are useless and he's the best player in the world. What's that all about, says Jack Lewis. It's been big news. Like it's been the talk of the town pretty much for the last about 3 or 4 months. But yeah, Savia at Moana Pasifika with his brother. The big signing for them this year. Like going from the Hurricanes. But yeah, like he decided that he wanted to be closer to those Pacific Island roots. And he thought he'd be able to help them out a little bit. Great finish from Blythe. I'm in the UK, haven't heard that. Can't believe what I'm hearing, says Jack. Now, it's going to make the score 35-22. Opinions on Higuares coming back in 2026. I would like to see one team added just so that we're back to 12, or even 3 teams added, make it the Super 14 once again. He must have lost his mind. They won't win anything, says Jack. I mean, he's on decent money, though, to be fair. He's probably making more. Well, I don't know about the exact financial situation, but I'd assume he's making a fair amount to go away from the Hurricanes. Now kicking off again. And nicely taken by Blythe. Seems like a bit of a super substance coming onto the field for Josh Canham. Now Smith with a short ball to Wilson. Passes off to Tom Liner. What's happening with Moana Pasifika? He's got so much talent. He's not getting a game at Moana. Is he injured? Do you know? I think he played last week, didn't he? Did he play last week? Oh, great ball to Fraser McWright, cutting inwards, finds the offload, and now Ryan Smith, the other lock, manages to score for the Reds in quick succession. There's already 62 points. And we've got 20 minutes to go. And how long is Julian Savia out with his broken arm? I'm not sure of the exact length. I'll see if I've got an update here about it. Injury report. Where are we? Moana Pasifika. Nah, hasn't got anything as of yet. Both Anisis are out with the hamstrings, though. That's a bit of a shame. Some teams have a really long injury list, by the way. Like the Crusaders have a list of about 10, maybe even more than that. Hurricanes have got about the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's actually 14 for the Crusaders and about 12 for the Hurricanes in terms of the injury list. An updated score, mate, says Ricky. Hopefully it does update now. There we go. I have to move my mouse every once in a while, but we were doing something else. We were getting the injury update. But I do appreciate you saying it nicely. The last live stream, someone pretty much abused me for not having it up to date, which was lovely. Blame for a non-New Zealand side in Super Rugby is not a good idea. Savia won't look as good. Says other side of the fence is a full time. It is not. We're only sitting 61 minutes through this match. There's so many injuries this year already. And yeah, even in the off season, we saw a lot of players going down with knocks. Now back into the pocket. And the opening of them gaps, 2 or 3 phases, gap open up, says JD. Now William Harvilli just inside of his own half. Oh, he's been foot tripped. But it looks like it's going to be play on. Tom Liner, tackled by the big man Tom Savage. The Toms going at each other. Now Dongunu trying to get through Sama Malolo. He's trying to tackle him a little bit high, though. And the opening of the gaps. Oh, no, I read that one, didn't I? I wonder if the Reds will score more than the Chiefs, says Nov Mum. How are you, mate? Are you ready for just 2 hours of sleep over the weekend? Not completely, but I've accepted it. Like, I'll get like 6 hours tonight, which is good. But other than that, she's going to be a big struggle. Now, chasing that one, slap back, and then the knock on, though, from Sama Malolo. That was unnecessary. From Matt Faisler, did the tip tackle. And now the players are not happy. Savia can play a stack of the regular season. 0 finals, get rest of internationals. Reckon the New Zealand Rugby Union got a boner thinking about that, says Thursdays. Oh, hard landing for Tom Liner, both going up for it. He took an elbow and, he's hit his head hard. It's a shame because Tom Liner, he's a young guy that has had so many bad head knocks already and he's only 21 years old. The crowd are trying to say it's going to be a penalty. I don't think it is, though. I think it's just going to be continue. Faisler, it's Faisler Hamish with an E, not an A. Sorry, sometimes I try and say it too fast. It's like Moana Pasifika. Every once in a while you get one in the wrong place. But yeah, Matty Faisler is what I should say. It's been a good start to this rugby season. Lots of exciting matches, says William. New Zealand not looking so good in the sevens this year, eh? Yeah, they've been a little bit up and down, to be fair. Argentina, once again, looking strong. Spain, of all sides, actually near the top of the table at the moment, based off points as well. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens next. It'll be a good start. And now, Antapaisami, little grubber there. I don't know if he meant to kick it as lightly as he did, but it's gone straight to William Havili. Now, Tamatine. Moana Pasifika, they have to get another try here. Unpopular opinion, I think Uruguay can realistically field a Super Rugby franchise. The team Penarol on Super Rugby Americas is owned by Penarol FC. See, if they're anything like their sevens, maybe, because we've actually seen in the sevens, they beat Fiji and New Zealand in the same, league of the sevens, which I don't think anyone really anticipated. Right, penalty again will go against the Reds. This time it is for offside. Right, we'll go like that. And that one is going into touch. 25 metres out and 14 minutes to go. Moana Pasifika. I know it sounds crazy to say, but they actually still have time to get back in this match. The Reds scored 3 tries in the first 12 minutes. So, Moana Pasifika, they got 16 minutes to score 3. Yes, it's going to be, I would think, a lot more challenging now than it was in the early stages, but well claimed by Moana Pasifika yet again. Now, ball is available off the back for Jonathan Tamatine. Savia is off the field for Tawalangi. Sama Malolo. 25 out, moving almost up to 22. Tamatine goes to the right-hand side. And the Reds handle the defence. They've been good at times, but they have given away too many penalties, unfortunately. Did it stop raining there yet? Looks like it. It looks like the rain has lightened up. Tamatine acting like he was going to be kicking it. It looks like he needs to tie up his bootlace. Ongunu got told to leave it. Tamatine. Now sitting 22 metres out from the line again. The 9 phases, none of the main sides are looking that good. And the 7's only Argentina. Yeah, Argentina seem like they're always going to be relatively up there, don't they, in terms of Los Pumas. But, yeah, South Africa are another side that maybe might find a rhythm at some point. Right, penalty advantage in favour of Moana Pasifika. Now Tamatine, garden basher with the cross kick. It's gone high. Tamafilau not able to get it. Ongunu does. And they'll go back for another penalty. Kieran Tamafilau, is there a little bit of drizzle still about? Maybe. 40 plus G's this weekend is going wild, eh? Yeah, we've had a lot of points already throughout these first 2 matches, and there's still 3 matches to go on the weekend. We'll show it here. These are the 3 matches taking place tomorrow. Hurricanes versus the Fijian draw. We are going to be covering that game on the channel. Same with Highlanders versus the Blues. Now, sadly, Brumbies versus Force, I believe we won't be doing. And that is just so that we can sneak a 2-hour nap in before doing an all-nighter for the 7s, and as well as URC and Six Nations. So that Brumbies Force game, of course it's going to be an awesome contest, because anytime I don't cover a game it is. We saw that last week. I didn't do Western Force Moana Pasifika, and it went down to a last-minute thriller. So, yeah, be sure to keep an eye on that game if we don't do it. Now, Pipisana Patafilo goes across to William Havili. One more pass. Tumafilau in the corner. And he will get another Moana Pasifika coming back into it. And Kane's 47 the draw rate. Says Rock. There's just a lot of tries. This is a bold call. Says Rock. Wait, so your prediction's a bold call, or this wide cutout passes? I think Falau, yeah, great finish. Well, they're going to be looking for him in the NRL, I can tell you that right now. The way that he has been playing as a young sevens guy first and then into Union, I think someone's going to snap him up as soon as possible. And bold, obviously, says Rock. Now William Havili. Get this one and does get it over. Right from the touchline, so now 29 points to 42. Get them sleep. I don't mind skipping Forces games. Says JD, I do feel bad though because the Western Force always end up being the side that we end up skipping. Like last year, I think we only covered about 3 Western Force games or something like that, maybe even less than that. So I do feel bad when we don't do most of their games. But we will try our best. Like, that's the thing. We aren't not doing it, like, just because we don't want to. It's just because we need to find a gap somewhere to snooze. At the end of this match, I'll let you guys know the weekend schedule. And, yeah, it's an interesting one. And I don't be mate, he says JD. I'll change it back to stay hunky soon. Rock sounds so weird. Says Rock there. And also, we look at their Brumbies will beat the Force, says Matthew. They should do, but you just never know, do you? Like, the Force managed to score 45 points last week. And yes, Moana Pasifika have conceded more than 42 weeks in a row, which is a big concern. Don't get me wrong. This is running very low, this water bottle. But we've only got 10 minutes left. Jonathan Tamatine goes across to Jackson Garden Bishop. Tom Liner, sore knee by the looks of that. Now Summer Malolo, 2 converted tries in 10 minutes, and Moana Pasifika would be leading in this game, which is really weird to think about. Trying to go for a counter-ruck there from the Reds. They're not allowed to, though. Summer Malolo plays half. Pipisana Patafilo going back across to Danny Tuala. And are Reds on a bonus point now, or still yet to count? So, yeah, they've had a whole heap of tries, as you can tell, but they don't have the bonus point just currently. Oh, that's a rough pass from the big forward. Filippo has to go back down to grab it. But yeah, one more try would get them back in bonus point contention. Oh. Okay, Tuma Falau looked like he just tackled a random bloke, and all he's done is left a massive space on the outside for Dungunu. Right, I think they're going to check this. Tuma Falau either just tried to milk a penalty terribly and it ended up costing his side a try, or he was actually obstructed, in which case they might have a check of it. But either way, what happens here? Okay, so Tuma Falau acts like he was obstructed by Josh Fluke. To be fair, Fluke was in the way, but at the same time, you're allowed to, you can hold your line, as they say. Although normally you're not supposed to in front of your player. But Fraser McGrath, the man, did end up scoring it. Winger tackling Chaser 10 metres away. Cesar Seen. Yeah, that is back now with the bonus point. And the worst thing, like I said, for Tuma Falau is he actually left his wing wide open for them to score on. And that kick's gone over from Liner. So now they're going to need 3 tries in the next 8.5 minutes. Not going to be an easy task. Yeah, Nongunu showing pure pace. Havili muscling up to make that tackle. Just gave them the score well. Says Arsene, yeah, they did all the hard work to get back into the game and then gifted them that one to make it pretty much impossible for them to get back into it. Tom Liner, he is off the field. Same with Tim Ryan. Paisami takes it. I reckon Super Rugby T. Says Spink there. Now Wilson. Come back across into the pocket. Will be Lachlan Phillips. 40 metres out from their line now. William Harvilli dips his head. Tackled well. Tamatini goes back across to Samamalolo. The defence coaches on both sides must be like says other side. Yeah, they'll be disappointed with the amount of, in some regards, cheap tries that both sides have been able to get. But there's going to be a ball knocked on by Moana Pasifika. Now the Reds looking for a bonus point or to extend their bonus point chance. 50-22 attempted and it is out. Is it a 50-22 or was it taken back? It was taken back. I reckon Super Rugby teams need to begin valuing a bit more defence. Yeah, see, a lot of them have the mindset of we might concede 5 tries, but at the same time we can still score 5 ourselves or score 6, if that makes sense. Now, back across to the left-hand side. They're only a few metres out from their own line here. Moana Pasifika, Tom Liner is Michael Liner's son. He certainly is. Can someone explain why the Waratahs and the Reds are coming back this season? For one of them going to be terminated by Australia Rugby last year. What happened? I'm lost. So you sure it wasn't the Rebels that you're thinking of that were, disappeared? And just when Pacifica get close, Reds blast away. Now slap to the right-hand side. Oh, big shot on Kalani Thomas by Sama Malolo. 20 points separating these two sides. In fact, it might almost become 25. No, intercepted by Garden Bishop. And then gets it into touch. Last year's D was looking good. And last week's was okay too. Tonight is just getting slain. Oh, yes, the Rebels, Amish, I'm too old, says Rock. It's a big shot from Sama Malolo. Big shot for that one. That one would have definitely hurt, I think is the best way of describing it. Now going off to the left-hand side. Oh, that's Ford. My bad memory. And his brother plays for Italy. That is, of course, Lewis Liner. Right, first. Is that the first forward pass of the day? It feels like we've had about 15, but that's the first one that's been actually ruled as forward. Is it really going to be a round of blowouts? It looks that way, doesn't it? Hopefully not, though. But both favourites have won comfortably, so in that case, it means that we would end up seeing the Hurricanes win comfortably tomorrow, then also the Brumbies and also the Blues. Those would be the big winners. Although I do want to think that the Blues Highlanders could be a lot closer. I'm now nervous for tomorrow night. Says PSG, do you think Wales will be in the third band of the World Cup draw, 13th to 18th? Possibly. What rank? Although, no, sorry, because they finished. Oh, great passing. That's a huge hit on McWright, who's in a ball now from feeling that one, but they go in again. Another try for the Reds. They bring up the 50 and the first team to do so throughout Super Rugby Pacific 2025. But, yeah, Wales, because they finished in the top 3 of their group, they automatically qualify for the next World Cup, I believe. So I think although, yeah, no, they can go down, can't they, in terms of the rankings of it? So maybe. The season's so weird so far. Yeah, very weird at this point. But another try, 54 points on the board. And yes, Lewis, thank you, Hamish. Right. Kick has gone over. Still 3 minutes remaining. Kalani Thomas just breaking through. What's the longest phase in the first week? First week, I'm not sure. Second week, I think we're up to about I think Moana Pasifika had about 13 phases. Something like that. But yeah, in terms of first week, I'm not Not 100% sure. Now, nice take. Under the high ball. Pick and go from Moana Pasifika, who still haven't given up just yet. Yeah, 2 cents was Wales' third tier for next World Cup. Says Glenn Woods and Moana Pasifika got slayed tonight, says Matthew. And anyway, good night. I'll catch you half time for the Highlanders versus Blues, says PSG. And maybe Moana Pasifika is a third half team. To be fair, the scoreline, I don't know if the scoreline is accurate in terms of what we've seen for this game. Oh, what a cross kick that is. Nicely claimed. Filippo looked for the offload though, and it goes straight back to the Reds. But yeah, like in terms of, like, you know, Moana Pasifika have had many chances, and Milani Mataval will be 1 metre short after taking the quick tap. Reds have had a huge amount of handling errors, and they've still gone on to score 56 points. That's going to be just short of the line again for Moana Pasifika. A couple metres. Oh, they're being told to use it. And that's very close. Milani Mataval, though, this time. I think Ryan Smith was hanging on to it on the ground. William. Thought about going for a cross kick. McWright tries to get the turnover in the breakdown. Unsuccessful. Milani Mataval with another pick and go. Points differential, the only thing that Moana Pasifika can get out of this game. One more try would not take away the bonus point for this Red side. Now Sama Malolo, couple more meters, closer to the line again. Another advantage. Whaialangi held up, and they'll go back for another penalty. 17 red this time. Man who has been penalised, so that is George Blake. They try off the kickbox, or that box, kickbox out is a joke. My grandma is drunk. She thought you, Martin Tyler, doing commentary. Says, rocks, oh, that is close now. Still within a metre. They just can't quite get over that last inch. That's on the line. Yeah, it is. And the big man, I believe it's Alan Craig, yes it is, who pops up with the ball. And does he get the try? That is the full-time siren we can now just hear. Which does mean we are at the end of this fixture with a kick to come. So, yeah, plenty. Sevens in the snow would be fun to watch, says JD. Yeah, of course we are going to be doing the sevens tomorrow. At the end of this contest, I'll let you guys know roughly what the schedule is going to be for the weekend. It's a hectic one. But this game, it has had a total of 90 points so far. When we were asked about that score line, whether or not we could see 64 points, it was the right call to say yes. But that is the end of the half. The kick is good too. So 92 points between these two sides, but a 20 points differential increase for the Reds here. They will be more than happy with that. But in terms of what we've got coming up, ladies and gentlemen, now this is subject to change. I'm hoping that we set all the alarms that we're supposed to throughout the next few days and we don't end up with any slight naps that turn into a long sleep. So tomorrow, in the morning, we are going to have Fiji versus Uruguay in the Vancouver Sevens. That is kicking off in 9 hours' time. Then after that, at 9:02 a.m. New Zealand time, South Africa versus New Zealand. Then the next game after that will be 1:45 p.m. Fiji versus USA. Ireland versus South Africa at 2:29. Then possibly a few more Sevens games just in the mid-afternoon. Super Rugby Pacific, Hurricanes versus Fiji at 4:35 p.m. 7:05 p.m. Highlanders versus Blues. 1 a.m. URC Bulls versus Lions. 3:15 a.m. Wales versus Ireland in the Six Nations. 5:45 a.m. England versus Scotland. Then straight after that, we're back into the Vancouver Sevens at 7:52 a.m. between Fiji and Spain, New Zealand and Ireland, and South Africa versus Australia. Then in the afternoon, so about maybe 4 hours later than that, it's going to be the Vancouver Sevens quarterfinals. Then we get a bit of a break, although I think I have to go cut firewood for the cricket club after that last quarterfinal. 4 a.m. Italy versus France in the Six Nations. Then all throughout the night, the Vancouver Sevens, going right through to 2:41 p.m. in the afternoon on Monday, where we have the Vancouver Sevens Women's Final. So in total, it's about 1,560 minutes and about 26 hours from Friday night to Monday afternoon. So, with that being said, if you're free at any stage and you think to yourself, is there rugby on? Yes. Should I go on YouTube? Probably, because we will probably be here. So even if you're just popping in to say hi, it will be nice to see those familiar faces all throughout the evenings while we are heavily sleep deprived. But nonetheless, I do appreciate you all being here. I will see you tomorrow morning for the Vancouver Sevens. And then, of course, back at it for the Sevens and Super Rugby as we continue throughout the day. Get Mumsy to help. Mumsy is going to be golfing during the day, and I don't think I would ask her to do the ones during the night. So it's just going to be me for the 26 hours. So I'm sure you guys will be sick of me by the end of it, but we'll see. Next week, a lot less busy. I believe, just 5 games of Super Rugby, 2 games of the URC. So 7 games in total. We might miss 1 or 2. See how we go. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. And I will see you all for the next one.